Welcome back to Showcase. Today, we'll be taking a look at G1 Megatron and Soundwave, along with Soundwave's cassettes. But before we get started, big thanks to Fried Chicken Bro for requesting this video. If you have any requests, leave them down in the comments, I'll try and get to all of them. Moving on to weapons, Megatron has his cannon, Soundwave has his shoulder cannon, Rumble, along with his recallers, have their pile drivers and guns on their back. Ravage has his hip rockets, and Beastbox has his bat cannons. Moving on to transformations, starting with Megatron, limb flat, head in, arms in, bring the cannon around, legs up, bring the treads into place, and we have Megatron in his tank mode. Next, Soundwave, bring the head in, arms into place, legs up, bring the cannon back to be a battery, and we have Soundwave in his cassette player mode. Before we get onto the cassettes, I find the romp modes a little boring, so I've added new weapon modes for all of them. Starting with Rumble, limb flat, head in, legs up, arms around, extend the pile drivers, and we have Rumble in his weapon mode. Next, cassette mode, guns in, arms around, feet in, and we have Rumble in his cassette mode. Next, Ravage, bring his head in, and this will bring out the cannon, front legs up, back legs up, tail in, and we have Ravage in his weapon mode. Next, cassette mode, bring the cannon in, fold him in half, and we have Ravage in his cassette mode. Next, Rat Bat, limb flat, head in, feet into place, wings down, and jetpack in, bring the barrel out, and we have Rat Bat in his weapon mode. Next, cassette mode, wings into place, head and feet around, jetpack out, and we have Rat Bat in his cassette mode. Next, Laserbeak, head in, feet in, wings into place, bring the barrel out, and we have Laserbeak in his weapon mode. Moving on to cassette mode, wings up, jetpack down, and we have Laserbeak in his cassette mode. Finally, Beastbox, limb flat, head in, arms up, legs up, cannons down, and we have Beastbox in his weapon mode. Next, cassette mode, cannons back, arms in, feet in, and we have Beastbox in his cassette mode. Squawk Talk is a recaller of Laserbeak, so it doesn't have a unique transformation, and just like all my other combiners, Squawk Box is a separate model. Moving on to the lore I've written for these guys in my series, Siege World. Megatron is remembered as one of the Decepticons' greatest leaders, with tales of his conquests over the Autobots told across Cybertronian space. Countless bots idolize him, and some even name themselves after him. Some of those bots even going on to be great leaders of their own. But Megatron the story and Megatron the bot were far from similar. Rather than a fearless freedom fighter rising through the ranks of the Decepticons and leading them to countless victories, he was far closer to a tyrant in the making. Megatron was forged in an era later known as the Cybertronian Golden Age. He was assigned a cushy desk job, able to live an easy, carefree life. But in time, he grew bored. At first he frequented gladiator fights, but as he watched, he gained a new interest in fighting in the arenas, and eventually signed up to fight himself. The fights were almost always to the death, so it was very unusual for a bot to willingly sign up. Most fighters were criminals or assigned to fight when they were forged. Megatron was one of the only fighters to ever sign up willingly. This would be when he met Soundwave. Soundwave was the Beastmaster of the arena. While the most popular gladiator fights were two bots fighting against each other, there was also team matches and bot versus beast matches. Soundwave took care of those beasts, capturing them in the wild and keeping them happy and healthy till their matches. Along with the large deadly beasts, he also kept several smaller pets, from cyberbats and condors to panthers and apes. To assist with his beasts, he also had 3 assistants, Rumble, Frenzy, and Enemy. Megatron took a liking to Soundwave and his pets, and as he made his way up the gladiator rankings, he and Soundwave grew to be good friends. Megatron quickly rose through the gladiator rankings, being one of the top fighters in all of Cybertron. When the First Great War began, the Decepticons gained the gladiators' loyalty by promising to free them. At first, they were led by Rampage, a large bot forced to fight in the arenas. But during the mission to raid a prison and free the prisoners, Megatron and Rampage were alone. Seizing the opportunity, Megatron shot Rampage in the back and claimed he was killed by the guards. Megatron took over leadership of the gladiators, with Soundwave as his second in command. Soundwave's pets quickly became extremely useful for Megatron, having them fitted with listening equipment and retrofitted to transform into data slug that Soundwave could store in his chest. He would use them to spy on other Decepticon leaders, even having one spy on Dead End, the Decepticons' High Commander. Not long into the war, the Autobots Prime would die. Many Decepticons assumed the Autobots would crumble without their leader, but they couldn't have been more wrong. The Autobots' new Prime, Optimus, would kill Dead End. Several Decepticons tried to become their new leader, but Megatron, being the commander of the most powerful Decepticon unit, came out on top. At first, he thought killing Optimus would be easy, but battle after battle came to a stalemate. They seemed to be evenly matched. Even when Megatron tried sending one of Soundwave's pets to spy on Optimus, he caught on, removing the equipment and keeping the Condor. They went blow for almost 1,000,000 years, but eventually, during the Battle of Darkmount, Megatron and Optimus would kill each other. Seeing their leaders fall, both the Autobots and the Decepticons stopped fighting, and both sides would take their respective leaders and leave. Soundwave was next in line for command, but after he spent 2 months trying to bring Megatron back, the Decepticons would abandon him, leaving to continue the war. Soundwave and his assistants would take Megatron to a cave deep under Cybertron, staying there to guard his body. Years later, a bot would come to that cave, killing Soundwave, taking Megatron's body. But that's a story for another day. When it came to writing the lore for this episode, I knew I wanted to flesh out the First Great War a lot more. Back when I made my Optimus video, the lore was a lot shorter, and since then, the First Great Wars came up a lot, so today was a good opportunity to go over the conflict in greater detail. For Megatron, I wanted to stick pretty close to his personality from G1, specifically the movie. But I find his G1 backstory pretty boring. So for his backstory, I started with IDW, taking the idea of him being a gladiator, but I didn't want to just do IDW again, so I made him a kind of a rich kid, only being a gladiator for the thrill. At first, the Decepticons started the war to put an end to assigned jobs, but bots such as Megatron joined them, worked their way up and corrupted the movement from the inside, with the original goal being lost, the faction becoming little more than an army of power-hungry bots all fighting to take over. Soundwave is an outlier when it comes to that. He's extremely loyal to Megatron. Unlike most bots under Megatron's command, Soundwave would never dream of betraying him. He's similar to the G1 version because of that, but just cranked up to 11. Soundwave's cassettes mostly took from G1 just being Cybertronian animals, albeit smart ones. Rumble, Frenzy, and Enemy didn't really get much here, and that's just because their story doesn't fit into the overall story in this episode, so I will be saving that for a future video that I should be putting out soon. Anyway, that's Megatron, Soundwave, and the cassettes. Megatron's been recolored into Megatron X, Soundwave into Shattered Glass Soundwave, and the cassettes into, well, the other cassettes. Hope you guys liked this video, and if you did, like and subscribe, because next time, we're going to be taking a look at G1 Nemesis Prime.